Hey, how's it going and welcome along. I'm Roy from Rep My Funeral. That was right, by the way. So this is the RMF Tech channel. A little while back I reviewed the Flashforge Creator 2. How cool is that? Which was a behemoth, massive, great big printer. Really impressive what you could do with it. Really cool bit of kit. Then shortly after I reviewed the Creator Pro 2. That is absolutely brilliant. Which was a slightly smaller printer, but it had two nozzles, so you could print in dual color, and it was again a really cool little bit of kit. Now I know what you're thinking. Why don't they take the hugeness of the Creator 2 and the cleverness of the two nozzles from the Creator Pro 2 and put them together into one massive thing and call it, I don't know, something like the Creator 3. And thanks very much to box.co.uk for sending me one and sponsoring this video, and a bit more about them later. And this is the box for it. Now, I don't know why I went to so much effort to lift this up onto here, because this thing weighs a ton. So bear that in mind. If you're getting one of these delivered, it is a big box. It's not tiny, it's massive. So, usual problem. I need to obviously figure out how to get inside this thing. So I need a tool to open the box. Wait there, I'll be right back. So I've got it out of the box and it is now on this little table here, which is a perfect fit for the Creator 3. Now, some of the interesting points about this, obviously it's big, so it means that you've got a large print volume. Also, inside there we've got two nozzles which can either print two separate models at the same time, or one model but using two different colors or even two different types of filament. It's fully enclosed, which means it's a consistent temperature inside at all times. It's got a removable flexible bed for removing the prints, and also the filament goes in the side here, which means it's fully enclosed and again good for keeping the temperature of the filament consistent and dry. Now I just need to get it unpacked and get it ready for calibration and putting some filament into it. A manual. A thick manual. So inside, yeah, we've got the manual, we've got power cable, we've got a spatula and some glue and some basic tools, more foam. We have a white filament and we have a blue filament, both in PLA. Also in here are two containers. Genuinely, at this stage, I have no idea what these are for. I'll find this out shortly, I'm sure. So here inside the unit, we can see this is our removable bed. So you can kind of see the volume on that. This is pretty big. It goes onto this heated bed here. It's magnetic, so it just clicks on. And you know what? I can't remember what the size is. I'll pop it on the screen as text. Oh yeah, there we go. That's how big it is. Okay, so here we can see you have the control screen. Then inside we have our two nozzles. It's got the clips on it at the moment, which are from the transport. I have to remove them. If we look down the side here, this is what I pulled out earlier. That's where the filament will go. And there's one on the other side as well, which doesn't come off. Oh, there we go. So there's one on that side as well, to take your two filament reels. So obviously what is always great about Flashforge is they come pre-assembled. There's not really a lot for you to do to get it up and running. Literally plug it in and then press the on button at the back. This should come alive. We hear a fan kick in. And it plays the tune we're also familiar with. And then here you can see that there is kind of some very simple options on the very nicely looking touchscreen, which actually looks a lot better than the other previous touchscreens in terms of the clarity on the screen. It looks really nice. So now I will take out this bit of foam. So on the screen we're going to go to Tools, we're going to go to Manual, and I'm just going to hold the Z up button so that this makes its way up. And now that's high enough, I take that out of there. And then I'll press the home button so that it works its way back down And now that I've taken out the safety clips, I'll press the home button and watch you go back down to the bottom. It's still going. So these two buckets are waste collectors. So these actually go in here. So now I'm going to level the bed, which I believe is fairly straightforward. So inside of the tools menu, we press level. And then it says I'm homing. So I guess that's going to make its way all the way to the bottom before it continues. Okay, now it is asking me to select which extruder I would like to start with. So I'll start with the left one and make sure they're clean. Okay, so now I guess the bed is going to work its way all the way back up to the top again. So the screen says verifying the distance between the nozzle and the plate. Now it says press OK button to go to the next point. So it now says leveling complete, and I didn't have to turn any of the knobs that are underneath, which is kind of weird, but apparently it reckons it's done. Okay, so interestingly enough, apparently it's now level, but I didn't have to turn any nuts at all, I didn't have to change anything, which seems unusual, but maybe it just worked, who knows. So next we now need to get some filament inside of it. Now fortunately enough, it comes with a roll of white PLA and a roll of blue PLA. So we'll put these in there. As I mentioned before, it goes in here. We have our filament, which I guess we poke in through the hole there, and then place in there, and just feed that all the way through till we can feel it stop. Okay, it's come out of the other side. We'll push that into place, and we'll close that up. Now obviously I've put that onto the right hand side and we can see that down there. That is now all ready to go. I'm just going to slide this over there so we can see what we're doing. I'm going to come to tools and then filament. Oh, I can load both at the same time. Right, hang on a second while I put the other side in. I've put it into both sides. So now I'll just press OK whilst both of those are ticked. And now we just have to wait for the temperatures to rise. So while we wait for the nozzles to reach temperature, I'm just going to quickly mention the sponsor of this video, which is box.co.uk. Now Box are one of the UK's leading online retailers of tech products. They've got over 25 years in the industry, so they're pretty clued up when it comes to all kinds of tech, from computing to TVs to appliances to smart tech. Basically, they can provide you with everything you're going to want. And I can definitely recommend them when it comes to 3D printers. You only have to have a quick look through their list of printers to see that there's some awesome models in here at some genuinely decent prices. For example, I can definitely recommend this Snapmaker 2. I did a review of this video before and it was a really, really impressive bit of kit. The same for the Flashforge Creator 2. So I definitely recommend have a look through their printer range. And they also do filament. And again, I really, really recommend the Steady Tech stuff that they do is really good. And also I'm currently testing out some of the Gemini PLA Pro with some really great results. And you will see that in some upcoming videos soon. So I would definitely check them out if you are in the need for some 3D printing stuff or anything kind of tech related. Go head over to the site, have a look. The link's in the description for everything you're going to need there. Make sure you go and check them out. Now let's go and see if those nozzles have heated up. So both nozzles are just coming up to 90% now. That really did not take long. They heat up really quickly, and we can see here we have some goo coming out there and we have some goo coming out there, and there we go. Our filament is oozing through, so once they are both oozing the correct colour, I can go ahead and press done and get rid of this excess. which I could even just throw straight in those little bins. Brilliant. Right, so filament is loaded in both sides. I've got white in the left and blue in the right, and we're ready to go. So now I just need to get the software installed and connect this up to the Wi-Fi and send a print to it. What shall I start with? Okay, so here we are in Flashprint. I've gone ahead, I've downloaded Flashprint 5 from the Flashforge website, installed it. I'm not going to cover all of that in detail in this one. I've covered that in other videos before. Just for speed, we're just going to get this going. Now, firstly, I'm going to grab my Benchy, which is here, it's downloaded, and boom, we'll drag this into the project. I will include a link in the description for any files like this, so if you want to grab it yourself, it'll be in the description below. So firstly, it said there's an error. Do you want to repair the model? This is just sort of to do with the 3D modeling, the export. So we're not going to worry. We're just going to press repair, let it do its thing. It will be more than happy. That's absolutely fine. And there is our Benchy sitting ready to be printed. Now, obviously I normally do a Benchy when I first set up a printer and just test it, but I'm going to do something slightly different today. Because I've got the two nozzles, I can use a mode called mirror mode where it prints both items on the same bed at the same time, which is really exciting. In order to do this in Flashprint 5, there's a button down here on the left that says Creator 3, that's my printer type, 0.4, that's my nozzle size, and normal mode is my mode. So if I click on here, I can change some of these settings. So I can change to a different printer, change the nozzle size, or mode. I can come in here and select mirror mode. This will now give me two Benchies, and it's signified the two different colors means that that's with one nozzle and that's with another. So that's grand. I'm just going to go mirror models and mirror X, just so they face each other. I think it'll look a bit nicer on the time lapse. And now that I'm ready to go, I'm just going to hit start slicing. And here we get all the sort of basic settings as normal. I say basic, there's a lot of settings in here. But we can choose all our materials, the temperatures, and so on. The profile at the moment is set to fast, so I'm going to set that to standard. Now you've got various different options in here, standard, fine, and fast. Now you can do it all manually, or these are just pre-done profiles. Fine is something like 0.1 layer height, fast is 0.3, and standard is 0.18, I think. So just slightly better than 0.2. And I'm going to go with that one, and I'm just going to come down here to raft, and I'm going to turn raft off, and then under additions, just going to double check that there's no brim, there's no wall. It's all very simple. That is literally all I'm looking to change, and I'm going to go ahead and slice that. So that will slice our model, or models in this case, and when it's done we can hit slice preview, and you know, we can do what we normally do and you know, run through and make sure that it's all as we'd expect, which it is. It gives us a bit of info up here, roughly how much material and how long it's going to take, and yeah, we're good to go. Now this printer is Wi-Fi compatible, so I could connect it to the Wi-Fi and then I could connect directly in here and just send it. But just for speed right now, I haven't connected it yet. I'm going to go ahead and save it to a USB stick and pop it in the printer like that. So let's get printing. hour and 24 minutes printing on the standard setting, printing 2 models at the same time. That looked pretty magical, right? The way that that was doing that, with the 2 going at the same time, really cool, really interesting. Effectively, we've halved the print time when you think about it, right? Because normally it would take that just to get to 1, but we've got 2. And it's on this print bed. I didn't use any glue or anything. I literally, as you saw before, I did that calibration where I didn't even have to change anything. And then I just set it to print. That's really impressive. The models themselves look pretty good. I'll just try and remove. Easy enough to come off there. And yeah, they look really good. I'll cut to a shot of them revolving so that you can see the detail a little bit better. But you can see that both of these benches have come out really well, considering this is its first ever print. Now, the one thing that I didn't quite understand was why one of them printed with a raft and one of them didn't. Because I thought I switched off raft in the software. So I'm not sure why that happened. However, that is using the 2 nozzles simultaneously. But the next thing now to try is printing one thing using 2 different colors. Let me go see if I can find something for that. And we're back in Flashprint 5. Now, I've got a little Stormtrooper model here. So this is what we're going to print. I want Employee Jewel 1, which I guess is done like that for copyright reasons, so I repair. Now what you'll see is that this is obviously the 1 set of pieces, and then I'm gonna do number 2, get rid of that, repair, and the model has been repaired. Now, unfortunately, they have not come in central. Now I don't know whether this is an issue with the files or an issue with Flashprint, so I need to somehow get these into the right place. So I'm going to grab hold of this. I'm going to press move first and grab hold of this one, and let's see. So that's moving it right, that's moving it forward, so let's just zero that out. Oh, it's definitely closer. Okay, so we could click and drag it, and to be fair, that's probably going to be the easiest way. Obviously, the more precise this is, the better chance I've got of this printing well, but that looks to be about right. Now, quick note, do not try and click and move your view, otherwise you will move the item and it will be really annoying. So we'll press set view again, and now we can go and have a look, and it looks all good. What we now need to do is figure out which side has what filament. So I know that the white filament is in the left side, so we're going to press left for this one, and then we're going to select this one, and we're going to choose right extruder, and then that way the printer knows which extruder to use for which bit, and it will print this as 2-color print. And exactly the same as in the last one, we just go start slicing. I'm going to do it fast this time just because I want it to be a little bit quicker. Obviously I could do the really fine print, but it would just take a lot longer. Rafts. Do we want a raft? I've just realized there's something actually I needed to do before I did this. I was going to create wiping towers. So if we actually come down here, we've got wiping tower, and there's a default 2. This is fine. So all I do is slide here. This is the right one, so I'm going to put this on this side like that, and then this is the left one, so I'll put this one like that, and then that's it. So I've now added wiping towers. So basically what that will do is when it's swapping between the 2 print heads, it will just do a quick run around this just to ensure that the filament is running, you know, at its best, and not sort of starting again from where it's been sat in the nozzle waiting for the other bit to finish. So that's cool. So I'm now going to do start slicing, and just double check. Yeah, we're still on fast. I want to make sure that raft is off. I don't think we need a raft. And again, I think that's probably about right. Everything else, fine. We'll just leave it for now, and we'll slice that like so. And we'll get this into the printer, and let's see how this looks. Okay, so I tried to print a 2-color Stormtrooper model that I thought looked pretty cool, and I had a ton of problems. For some reason, the right side nozzle, the filament stuck to the bed no problem, but the left side was sitting just a little bit high, and I could not figure out why. I tried printing and printing and printing. I eventually got it really close, and I left it overnight. Unfortunately, I came down to this, which is obviously a really beautiful spaghetti mess. However, I then reached out to Flashforge support, and they did ask me, have I updated it to the latest firmware? So of course I double checked that, and no, I hadn't updated it. So I've now updated it, and sure enough, that leveling sequence has changed. So I'm just going to go ahead and re-level it now with the new firmware, and I'm going to see if that makes a difference. But yeah, definite pro tip there. Always update your firmware when you receive a new machine. I might have forgotten this time. And that's what, and it's finished. So this has taken me a few attempts to get the leveling right. So I've had quite a few failed attempts on this. However, this one has now worked. So there's a little bit of stringing going on, but it looks like it might not be too bad. Let's see how we can pull this here. I've broken his ankles. So I've just broken his ankles off. He's stuck to the bed really well. So I'm gonna fix that. Let's put it on the turntable so that you can see what it looks like. So yeah, overall, it doesn't seem like it's too bad. It took a little bit of cleanup just to remove some of the stringing. I reckon, as always, you know, you have to bear in mind, I'm just doing this out of the box. 3D printing always needs a bit of tweaking to get it, you know, correct and printing really, really well. And also, you learn the kind of the foibles of the printer. The longer you own it, the kind of more you kind of just know, well, if that does that, you tweak that bit. So yeah, so that came out not too bad. However, in the world of 3D printing, I am yet to ever find a 3D printer that is absolutely perfect in every way, and this one is no exception. So here's 5 things I dislike about this printer. So this touchscreen, I know that I said that it looks nice, however, the responsiveness of it is really bad. You have to press multiple times to get the buttons to work quite often, and it's kind of laggy and just a little bit cumbersome. I'm really not a fan of this touchscreen after trying to use it. Being so big, it has the same problem as the Guider 2. It takes forever for the bed to get to the bottom when you're waiting for it. To be fair, it's not really that long. It just feels long when you just sit and watch it. The bed calibration on these printers is still finicky. I don't like these twisty knob things. This time there's only 2. However, it's got an auto calibration plus a manual calibration, and I don't know, it's just not intuitive, and it took me a lot of messing around to get this set up and printing well on the bed. The removable bed is a step in the right direction, without a doubt. However, getting stuff off this, as you saw a minute ago, is still quite tricky. And the fact that you still need to use glue and have a spatula to take prints off of it, I don't know, it feels a bit old. This isn't 2018 after all. As is the case with every Flashforge I've ever played with, it's loud. The current hum out of it is it's idle. When it's actually printing, it makes so much noise, and it gets louder than that. And then when you add the movement of the nozzles in, it just gets so noisy. For example, you wouldn't be able to have a video conference in the same room as this thing while it's printing fully because it's just too noisy. And it just keeps beeping. So don't panic, it's not all bad. Here's 5 things I really love about this printer. Inside the printer, just there, is a camera, which means that you can actually remotely watch your prints from a PC somewhere else on your network. That is actually very, very useful. The bins are incredibly useful for storing rubbish in it. It's actually a really good idea to have bins inside here because otherwise you end up with bits all over the floor and everywhere. At least in here you can chuck them all in these bins and then empty them in one go. Nice! As I mentioned earlier, the filament is stored in these side compartments, which is really great for really utilising the footprint of the printer and not taking up additional space. Plus, there's a pragmatic reason as well, in that it helps keep the filament dry and at a consistent temperature throughout the prints. So underneath the print nozzles are these little metal guards, and these are used to scrape off the excess filament and stop it from oozing out. And where they're positioned, it all falls straight into the bins. Using the software, it is possible to control multiple printers all at the same time. So if you have, say, several Flashforge printers dotted around, you can send a print to all of them just with a few clicks. So all in all, it is a really good printer. It's got some very clever capabilities. Getting the setup on it right is probably, out of all the Flashforgers I've played with, this is probably the most difficult to set up. However, once you've done it and once you've got it working, it's a really, really clever piece of kit. Having the big bed gives you obviously a lot of flexibility to do large projects. Having the dual nozzles gives you even more flexibility when it comes to colors or even filament types. So anyway, I'd like to thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button as well, and clicking the little bell will notify you when the new videos go up. I've got another couple of 3D printers to come up soon, plus a very, very special little gadget that's just been sent to me that as soon as I get time I will do a review of. Once again, I just want to say a massive thanks to box.co.uk. Remember, details in the description. Do check them out for anything techie that you need. Go to box.co.uk. Alright, thanks very much and see you in the next one. We'll get this in.